everyone, you're very welcome back to this week's garden video. Myself and Ryan are here this week, and this week we are going to chat about slugs and snails. Basically the time of the year, your bedding plants, perennials are all going to be in full colour. So it's a good time of the year to just put some controls in to try and stop the damage in the leaves, the flowers, what have you. And as well, if you are controlling them this time of the year, it can be a big help come next spring. So Ryan is going to give a quick run through just some of the products we have to control.
Alright, if you want to go with a product, instead of hand picking, which Liam will go into some more detail about that kind of thing, I've got several different pellets. Now you want to go with an organic one. It should say certified organic on the side there. Most of the ones that are organic have those labels on them in the EU. And these are naturally occurring minerals, ferric phosphate, iron phosphate. Those are the ones you want to look for. Anything else is kind of a derivative of rat poison, and then you're looking at poisoning the food chain, hedgehogs and all that, and that's no good. So with the slug pellets, you can take a handful from that, or you can sprinkle it on. Don't do piles, kind of layer it on. Pepper it on, like that on the ground around your plants. That's another way to control them is copper tape. Copper tape, you can put it around your pots and it'll stick to it, and then that thick layer there, the slugs don't like the copper. So that's another naturally occurring thing. And then you have the slug traps. These, I have this one open already. You bury this in the ground here like that to that level, and then you pour, well, maybe not your favorite beer, but your least favorite beer in here. You cover that and then wait for the evening, and then you come back the next morning. There should be loads of them in there. So there's lots of other varieties as well to take care of the slugs, but I'll pass it over to Liam and he'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thanks Ryan. So just the last few things I'm going to talk about, as Ryan said, one of the easiest and most effective ways is to go out in the evening time. Get your head torch on, go out, and you will see them. That's when they're active. It's in the evening when everything is nice and moist. In the dark, they'll come out and you'll see them. You can literally pick them off and dispose of them, but don't just throw them over the hedge, because they can travel. I think it's something like up to 2 miles they can travel, so they'll come back anyway, so you need to get rid of them properly. Another thing you can do is, at the end of the season, when your perennials and stuff are starting to die back, if you remove, say, old debris, old leaves, slugs will overwinter in these sorts of areas. So if you get rid of that, you're getting rid of one of the areas where they're going to be. And the last thing I would say, one thing that's really effective, is give your garden a dig over in the spring, so early spring. So we're talking January, February. Go out with your fork and fork over the top of the soil, because that's where they'll lay their eggs. They'll lay their eggs in the top of the soil, and you'll see these little casts of like whitey sort of cream eggs. So dig it over and just expose them and leave them on the top of the ground. The birds, hedgehogs, they'll come along and eat them then anyway, and that'll get rid of them. And even if they don't, it's the cold air, it's the frost in January, February, March that will kill those eggs off, and that'll be the end of them. They'll be gone. So basically, prevention is better than cure, same as lots of things. So if you can get on top of it now, it leaves you with a good starting point next spring. So we'll leave it there for this week. If anyone has any questions, drop them into us, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.